We've got Nacho Figueras. He is polo player extraordinaire, philanthropist, such an incredible person, and we're thrilled to have him today. Welcome.
It's great to be here. Good to see you too, Steph. How are you doing?
Good. Getting through it all. So happy to have you. I wanted to hear first about your family and how you guys are going through craziness at home every single day with all those kids.
Yes. Well, we have 4 children, so it's a full house. We've decided to stay here in Florida. We were in Wellington, Florida, playing the polo season that starts in January and goes through the end of April. Um, so when this whole thing all happened, we decided to stay here. We're gonna stay here through I assume the end of May for sure, and then depending on what happens in the world, go to New York or go to Aspen. We'll see how it evolves. But we've been having a great time. We're lucky to be here in Florida where the weather supports these crazy times. But we're staying positive, uh, taking turns with Delphi on the homeschool kind of like attention.
Right.
Great, sounds great, the whole homeschool thing, but they don't tend to follow the rules so much. So
It's difficult, not
yeah,
easy.
yeah. In from our perspective, I'm a polo player and I travel around the world. And when we are in Argentina, which is home for me, kids go to physical school. But when we're traveling, we homeschool. So we've been used to the system. We've been doing it for a while. So it's not that of a big change for us. The thing is that before we used to, the program was our program. We homeschool and we had our time. So we decided to start at 8, 9, 10, or
Right.
whenever it suited us. Now that the whole system is on homeschool system, now they have to do certain things at a certain time, which is what we were not used to,
Right.
and that is a bit more complicated.
Of
But
course, of
anyway,
course. But you're great at that. You're great at adjusting to anything. So tell me, you've got that polo field right out there. Are you guys able to ride? Are you able to play?
no playing
Mm,
because we're trying to be very responsible and do all of the things that we're supposed to do to keep everybody safe. But we still have the horses in training to keep them safe. You cannot just leave them by themselves. So
right.
we still go to the barn once a day and we check on the horses and exercise the horses without you know being with each other. So I just go with me and Hilario, my son, who's also a polo player, and my
Yes.
10-year-old son, and we ride the horses almost every day, like 6 days a week.
That's amazing. Well, it's great to
It's
be
great.
outside.
Yeah, it's good because it allows you to keep doing what you love, which is riding horses, in contact with nature, being outside. So we're very lucky, very lucky.
Oh, that's great. Great. And speaking of horses, you've played polo, like you mentioned, all over the world, and you've brought so much attention to the sport, but also to so many charities like Centerball. You've done so much work. Have you been able to stay in contact with your friends from Prince Harry to Ellen? Because they've done all this community work too. And how is that going?
Yes, of course I stay in touch with him and with them all the time, uh, and it's a different time, right? Because I think we're all trying to put our heads and philanthropy like minds together to see how we can help, for this specific, very, certain occasion and what's happening in the world right now. So I think that we're all kind of like focused on that right now. So it's like Senti Valley or the Gorillas for Ellen or all those things kind of like went to a secondary stage. We're all
Hmm.
focused on helping the people that are in need right now, which are a lot, and it's going to get a little bit worse. So we all
Yes.
need to stay together and be very focused on helping the people that are going to struggle through this very difficult time. But I think that most of those guys that are very charitable and that really think about the other people a lot are more engaged than ever. So
You're
I,
right.
I I try to do my part, and yes, and that's mostly what we talk about.
Yeah, and you're amazing because you do. You and Delphi, you've done so much in our community, but really all over the world, like we said, for philanthropy. And the last time I saw you, actually, you were helping different charities at Bal Harbour Shops from the Bonacani Fund. You were there for help chairing the Super Bowl event, and Bal Harbour Shops is always so appreciative. What was your favorite event that you last attended at Bal Harbour? You also did a clothing event with Delphi at the Webster.
Very, very different times. We were not social distancing that day.
No, we weren't.
We were all like
Thousand.
that. If the coronavirus was there that day, we didn't spread.
We're all hugging and kissing, and
we all would have had it. That was a great event. Obviously, having the Super Bowl in Miami was it's a big moment. Always, it has happened many times. It was the first one for me, so that was fun, and seeing a lot of old friends and new friends, and yes, Delphi has a clothing line called A Cheval, and we had an event at the Webster there. Was it last year?
I think it was in the fall. Yeah, it was in
Yeah.
the fall.
Yeah, last year, which was great. And then we've had more Boniconti events, right? We once had
Destination fashion.
Destination Fashion, and we had Enrique Iglesias singing. We've had some fun times there. It's a great place, and you do a very good job. Before at the Boniconti, and now, as the driving force of the Bal Harbour shops.
Thank you. You're so kind. Thank you. Thank you.
Very lucky to have you.
Oh, thank you, Nacho. Well, we're lucky to have you as our friend, and there's so much more to come. Once we get through slowly this crazy time, we're gonna do more for the community as we've continued to do. And with this virtual series, really, we've been, like I've told you, highlighting things that are happening in the community. And you're down here in South Florida right now. So tell us the one thing you really want to do when all the different restrictions are lifted. What's the first thing you want to do after we can leave our homes?
I kind of like miss seeing my friends. It's like we've all stayed in touch with each other, right? And we Zoom and we FaceTime and we WhatsApp and we, through Instagram, we see what people are doing or how they're going through this stay home kind of like period, and everybody's cooking and everybody's exercising with laundry soap and things like that.
Yes.
So that's all great, but I'm ready to I'm ready to go hug my friends.
Yes.
I think that's the first thing that I'm gonna do. I miss that, although we might not be able to do that right away. A lot of hugging and touching, but that's the part that I'm hoping I'll be able to do. And then, you know, although I don't see my sisters much year round, because one lives in Spain and one lives in New York, so every once in a while we see each other and we hug each other. But I think that periods of time like this make you kind of like feel a little bit more like you miss people a little more.
Yes.
It gives you more like perspective. I don't know what it is, but that.
I agree.
Because everything else, for the most part, I'm riding. I with my wife and my children, which is what's most important. We are, out here in Florida. We're exercising. I live in a place where that has two golf courses, and the golf courses are closed, but we are allowed to jog and to bike around them. So,
Amazing.
so from that standpoint, I'm very lucky. So I miss my friends.
I understand that. I do too. South Florida is a very huggy, kissy, social place. So this is going to be interesting to see as we move forward how that's going to come back. If people are going to just wave to each other, air kiss. So it'll be.
I think at the beginning maybe a little bit, but I think we have very short-term memory. I hope we do.
I hope so too.
I hope we do. I feel very weird when I get into a place and there's a group of people and you go like hi and
Right.
and it's like you don't know if they've heard you or not, and you feel like, am I being disrespectful or impolite? Should I what there's no code yet, and it feels a bit strange.
It is a bit different. So, well, I think that you're right. I think people have a short-term memory, and we will get back to that because that's a natural feeling is to hug or kiss when you greet somebody. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed that we can move forward from all this. And last but not least, I love to ask people, what is one thing not many of us know about you that you can tell us today? Is it a special talent? Is it?
I don't know. Most of most things about me. No, I mean, I don't know. I
Do
don't.
you
I
do you cook something?
I do cook. I've been cooking more in now in this time. So, we have more time. So, what I do that people don't know about, and I've not been doing so much lately, is I paint. Um,
That's very
so
interesting.
I used to paint a lot more. The other day, as I was looking at, it looks like we're gonna be staying home for a little longer. I was um, thinking that I'm gonna buy some canvases and I'm gonna do a little bit of painting. So but just for fun.
That's interesting. What do you paint, Nacho? What kind of things do you paint?
Romero doesn't have to worry about me. I won't take his. I won't take.
Romero's going to want a collaboration.
Oh yeah, yeah. The king of marketing and collaboration. Oh my God, he's so good.
He's amazing. He is amazing. He just lent us a sculpture in Bal Harbour Shops for a while, so it was nice to have it there. You got to paint with him that night at Super
I
Bowl
did,
party
yeah, yeah.
too. So, well, it's always great to talk to you, Nacho. Thank you so much for being with us, and we wish you and the kids in Delphi all the safety and healthiness in the world. And we hope to see you again soon when all this is
Very
done.
soon. I hope so too. Thank you. Same to you and your family. Always good to talk to you. Always in good spirits and with a big smile
Thank
and,
you.
and with good energy. So thank you and all the best to everyone. Be
Thank you,
safe
Nacho.
and we'll be back hugging each other very soon.